You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back and tell you sorry, try again, Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Hood Table one more again. Thanks for tuning in today. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, and also please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so much, very kindly. I just finished a live. I tried to hurry up and finish up a review I did on the Have and Have Not. So if y'all are a fan of that show, check that out later. But this show is going to be basically what it says going across the bottom of the screen. We're going to be discussing a petition created for the release of the grand jury evidence for the Jake Gardner case in regards to James Scurlock murder. Now, a lot of people here in our area, in our community, already knows a lot about this. James Scurlock being murdered months ago by Jake Gardner, the owner of the Hive downtown in the Old Market in Omaha. At first, initially, when it happened, within like a few days, the ruling against County Attorney Don Klein's decision, his decision was that it was justified and that they thought it was self-defense. But due to a lot of backlash from the community, a lot of protesting, and, you know, petitions by the Scurlock's attorney and the community, there was a grand jury investigation. After the grand jury investigation, they decided to indict Jake Gardner. And the charges were manslaughter, use of firearm to commit felony, attempted first-degree assault, and terroristic threats. Now, those were the charges that were on the indictment from the grand jury. So, after that, basically, Jake Gardner, who was out of town, he had left town, moved to California. They gave him the opportunity to choose if he wanted to turn himself in or if he wanted them to put a warrant out for his arrest. Like, you don't too often hear that, but he has the choice. So he was, per his attorney, he was supposed to arrive in town last Sunday, Sunday evening, to turn himself in, but that never happened because our authorities here got word from authorities in Oregon that he committed suicide. So instead of coming back to Omaha to face trial and turn himself in and face the charges, the indictment, allegedly he committed suicide. Now, however, a lot of people in the community don't quite want to believe that he committed suicide, whether he did or didn't. There are a lot of people who don't quite want to believe it or don't believe it. People are demanding to see his body, demanding to see proof. Actually, Frederick Franklin, who had gave us the information, who had gave us the jury who did the press conference last week and gave us the jury's, decision and the indictment and the charges. I believe he's the one who said he believes that he is indeed dead because the man, they called him personally to tell him he was dead. I don't know. Call him personally. So he believes that he's dead. And for all matters, he could be dead. He could have committed suicide for not wanting to face charges, although some people say, well, the reason why he committed suicide is not only because of that, but he felt like he wouldn't be given the opportunity. He wouldn't be given a fair trial. Some people say he was scared to come back for the same reason he left town, because allegedly there had been threats on his life after James was killed, after he was released and they declared it self-defense. So he had alleged that there was some death threats, and they're saying that's the same reason why he didn't come back to Omaha to face trial or face these charges. Now, of course, the family on both sides are very upset. A lot of emotions are surrounding this case, whether you are for James or whether you are for Jake. Whether you think he was guilty or whether you thought it was self-defense. There's a lot of high emotions in our community right now, from different sides, as you can expect. James Scurlock, his family, they're not happy about this. A lot of people in the community are not happy that he took his life and didn't give the family of James Scurlock the opportunity to see this through the trial. We don't know what the outcome of the trial would have been. We honestly don't know, because there's a lot of times people murder somebody and they think it might have a racial undertone to it, or and this was indeed, from a lot of people's perspective, including Frederick Franklin, that it did have some racial undertones, overtones to it, and that it wasn't self-defense. So, of course, his family, James Scurlock family, people are petitioning right now to get the records, the documents, the evidence that the jury looked over or reviewed. They said it's sealed right now. And they said because of Jake's suicide, the charges will be dropped. I never knew. I never covered a story with suicide. They either got off or they got put in jail. But in this case, they said the charges will be dropped. I guess that's how they do it in a suicide, when somebody doesn't, go to trial or kills themselves before they're, go to court. But so the family of Scurlock, they're not happy with that, and there is a petition going around. Let me see. Let me pull up the petition. Let's see. Well, first of all, I want to read this. I want to show you guys this right here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. See if I can make it wide.
Pursuing their own justice, the family of James Scurlock and their attorneys say they'll do their own investigation in the wake of Jake Gardner's suicide. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I'm David Earl.
I'm Alexandra Stone. Tonight, they're also calling out Douglas County Attorney Don Klein, and we have the top prosecutor's response. KETV News Watch 7 Sarah Feely joins us live with the next steps in the Scurlock family's fight. Sarah?
Attorney Justin Wayne says the county attorney dehumanized the victim in this case, James Scurlock. He also says the comments about the case are further dividing the city, and he hopes this will be the end of it. But it's not the end of their legal fight. Wayne says the family plans to interview all witnesses in the grand jury and do an investigation of their own, possibly bringing a civil case forward, but stopping short of who it would be against. Wayne and Scurlock's father, James Scurlock II, believe Gardner should have been charged with second-degree murder, and they say the evidence proves it. They also say they respect the grand jury's decision and say Don Klein's comments about the special prosecutor having, quote, an agenda for the case cause people to continue to question the very criminal justice system they're protesting.
What Donald Klein should have got up here and said yesterday was, let's take this case and come up with some real self-defense laws in the state of Nebraska, so we don't have prosecutors being questioned.
To further divide the city by commenting on facts, to further divide and shame on our legal system.
Scurlock's dad also commented on Gardner's suicide Sunday, saying he doesn't believe he's dead and blaming in part the justice system for his distrust. Wayne says he does trust that Gardner is dead because the special prosecutor of the case called him directly, but says he will really believe it when the death certificate is in and the charges are dropped. Back to you.
All right, Sarah, thank you. And again, Justin Wayne says County Attorney Don Klein dehumanized James Scurlock. We spoke with Klein in the last 30 minutes. Here's his response.
And I don't characterize it as dehumanizing anybody. It's just the truth about the background of the individuals that were involved. We heard a lot about Jake Gardner on one side, and I think it's important that people be aware of the other side of the photograph here, or the picture here, and that is the background of Mr. Scurlock and his attitude or his intent that evening and the way he was acting. And so I think that's an important thing.
Omaha's
$30 trillion.
Let me go over to the petition. Okay, let's see. Let me find the petition. Okay, the petition. Now, you heard what was said, and that was actually Justin Wayne, the Scurlock's attorney, who actually was the one who said that he believes that Gardner is in fact dead because they did call him personally. But again, there's a lot of people in the community who does not believe that he is dead. So now there is a petition. Let's see if I can bring that up. Okay. Pull up a little bigger. Okay. There's a petition, and the petition has been started. Who started the petition? Does it say? Okay, it says Jakeem Fox started this petition to Special Prosecutor Frederick Franklin and 3 others. And I'm sure those others are probably Don Klein. But the petition says they demand the evidence against Jake Gardner be released immediately, expeditiously, to the public. 711 people have signed. They're trying to get, the next goal is to reach 1,000. And of course, you know how petitions are. Once it gets 1,000, then the petition automatically tries to get to 1,500 or, you know, to the next 1,000. They need 280 more signatures to reach the next goal, which is to 1,000. And on here, it basically just tells you on May 30th, James Scurlock, a 22-year-old black man, was murdered by Jake Gardner, a known racist and white supremacist, during an Omaha demonstration in solidarity for George Floyd. This injustice sparked a summer of protests and demonstration by local Omaha activists, leading to a grand jury indictment of Jake Gardner. And he was, in fact, indicted on 4 charges. It is imperative the evidence collected by Special Prosecutor Frederick Franklin in partnership with the Omaha PD and presented to the grand jury regarding the murder of James Scurlock by known racist and white supremacist Jake Gardner be released. Jake Gardner took his own life after he was indicted by a grand jury of his peers on 4 felony charges: manslaughter, use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony, attempted first-degree assault, and terroristic threats. This decision was reached after Douglas County Attorney Don Klein made a very rushed decision to not press charges after only 36 hours of investigation. Special Prosecutor Frederick Franklin was quoted from the press conference following the grand jury's decision to indict, saying the charges stemmed in part from incriminating statements Gardner had made in his text or Facebook messages. And you remember from that press conference, they said most of the evidence came from Jake himself. So, you know, they were looking through his text messages, looking through his Facebook messages. They looked very closely at security cameras at his establishment, the Beehive downtown, and in the surrounding areas. They go on to say, acknowledging this criminal case will have proceeded If Jake Gardner had not taken his own life, the public is entitled to hear the damning evidence against him. The evidence is critical to ensuring that the Omaha community can move forward in obtaining true justice for James Scurlock and beginning the process of healing racial tensions. Okay, so again, there are a lot of people who are signing this petition. I'll put the link in the chat just in case anybody else wants to sign the petition. There's the link right there. And if anybody wants to jump on the StreamYard with me and discuss this with me, feel free. Just let me know to drop the link if you want to discuss this with me, regardless of whose side you're on. If you're on Jake Gardner's side, if you're on James Scurlock's side, if you want to discuss this with me, if you want to voice your opinions on anything, feel free. Now, also, I just want to read some things that I've seen. Oh boy. Let me see. Let me pull up my other screen here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, actually. Oh, never mind. I found it. Okay. So these are just some comments that I've seen posted on social media, some posts that I've seen. Let me know how you feel about them. I'm not going to say who posted them or where exactly the post came from. I just saw them on social media. Somebody said Franklin presented the evidence. Klein was quick in his assertion that the murder was self-defense. How could he come to that conclusion when at the time the police hadn't reviewed all the evidence or spoken with all the witnesses? So who's being disingenuous? Somebody else said, they said Dornan said that Douglas County Attorney Don Klein, who defeated Dornan in 2006 to become county attorney, had made the right call in ruling Gardner's actions justified. So they're on Gardner's side. I'm sorry. So they're saying that Don Klein agreed that the ruling was justified. And we all know that. Klein agreed that it was justified, that it was self-defense. Gardner had claimed that Scurlock had him in a chokehold and wouldn't let go, despite Gardner's repeated pleas to get off me. At the end of the 18-second struggle, Gardner switched the gun to his left hand, fired over his shoulder, killing Scurlock. Grand jurors, under the guidance of a special prosecutor, ruled out self-defense as a justification. So they're saying, and I quote, I'm just reading things I see off of social media. These are not my words. They said, and I quote, bottom line, Dornan and Monaghan said Gardner had lost his bars. A landlord ended his lease after the shooting, his home, his livelihood, and he was about to lose his freedom. Add in behavioral health concerns, Dornan said, and suicide was not a surprise. Even though his attorneys fully expected to turn himself in Sunday night, Monaghan said Gardner did not leave a suicide note. That is one of the reasons why a lot of people think that he might not be dead, because he didn't leave a suicide note. He had family. I think he had children. He had a lot of people petitioning for his self-defense. He had a lot of people. There's a lot of people been posting on social media that's for James and for Jake. So he had a lot of people supporting him. But I guess, some people do commit suicide without leaving a note. Somebody else said, let me see. Somebody else says they are beyond pissed about watching a news conference about Jake Gardner's suicide and how he was a veteran, a tragedy, a victim, talking about letting the justice system do its job, yet it would not have prosecuted without the public outcry of the true patriots and deserving inheritors of this country. Gardner murdered a young boy by premeditatedly arming himself with intents to provoke just such young impulsive emotions during a moment when all he had to do was whisper the N-word in that boy's ear to get that boy to attack him. These are not my words, by the way, but I can see that happening. if what they say is true about Jake Gardner being racist. So they went on to say that Don Klein tried to protect him. Now they are on TV turning Gardner's death into a military tragedy, as if it's okay to wage war on the so-called minorities and their allies. They said it makes them sick, and they also said, all I think day in and day out of how bad a person I am. Yet every time I look up, I see how evil these upstanding law-abiding citizens are. They said they're trying to be part of the solution, to in some way atone for their past, to some way be balanced, to not let others down. And this entitled yet extraordinary display of support for every act of spite upon the marginalized and those calling for true justice, basic human dignity, drives them further away from who they're trying to be. And I definitely get that. I definitely get where they're coming from. Somebody else said, the world we live in, Breonna Taylor killed by white police officers, and they aren't charged in her murder. The police officer only charged with negligence, but not the killing of Breonna. Racist Jake Gardner kills James Scurlock. Don Klein files no charges within 48 hours of James' death. Jake Gardner free to leave the state. Sorry, somebody was sending me a message. They said Jay Gardner free to leave the state. Grand jury indicts him on manslaughter and 3 other charges. Knowing he's guilty, he takes his life. His old white privileged attorneys get on TV and try to make him the victim. Special prosecutor speaks and give us information we've all been waiting to hear. The fact that Don Klein still stands behind his decision not to charge Jake Gardner is sickening. Then you attack the special prosecutor who did the job you didn't do. Don Klein needs to resign, and now and not forever, for office. They said justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for James Scurlock. Somebody else said, we are coming for all the elected seats on 2021 and 2022 held by folks who continue to neglect us. Governor, mayor, city council, sheriff, Douglas County attorney, secretary of state, clerk of district courts, and many, many more. They said time is up. There's also a petition to recall Don Klein. They said 56,000 signatures to recall Don Klein. The news just reported that the grand jury documents, which people are petitioning for to be released, will remain sealed. They believe that is unacceptable. I do too. People are really, really serious about Don Klein, wanting Don Klein to resign. Okay, now, to recall Douglas County Attorney Don Klein will require someone to be the principal circulator who would file a recall petition filing reform. And I was going to reach out to somebody we had on our show before, who's involved with politics here in our state and who speaks out on many different issues and injustices. I was going to reach out to them and have them come on the show to speak a little bit more about that, trying to recall somebody in position. But they also said the principal circulator and volunteer circulators would then collect signatures. The number of signatures required are 35% of the number of votes cast. So if somebody received 1,000 votes, then technically there would have to be like 300 and something votes for the petition for them to be recalled. So they said the number of signatures required are 35% of the number of votes cast in the most recent election for that office. There would be 30 days to collect signatures. The math for Don Klein would be 55,199 signatures needed. So every signature is examined and verified after losing some, so even more signatures would be needed. Because sometimes when they do signatures, for some reason they knock some of them off, whether they might not live in the district, or they might think they're duplicates, or they might think they're fake signatures. You know how it goes. And then they said Don Klein would then have the option to resign or recall election will be called. So just for people who might be interested in finding out, on what grounds could somebody be recalled, how do you get it started to try to recall an official, that's basically laying it out right there. Some people are feeling like, okay, Don Klein, if you guys aren't lying, or if you guys aren't up, is this not some conspiracy, then why not release the evidence? They're saying with the releasing the evidence would exonerate him if they really thought, I don't know. I don't understand that part. I don't understand why the documents can't be released. That's one of the painful parts that the family is going through in the community, because they want to know, like, what evidence was presented, because we know right after James, was killed, within like a few days, they determined that Gardner was innocent of our charges, that it was self-defense. So basically, they're like, okay, what evidence did y'all use besides that grainy video footage that y'all showed on the first press conference when y'all announced that he was not going to be charged? And then they want to probably compare that to what the jury, what did they investigate? What evidence that they used? And then we hear today, I played you the video earlier, how the attorneys, Justin Wayne for the Scurlocks, they're like, we'll do our own investigation. If y'all don't give us the evidence, if y'all want to seal the files, if y'all want to drop the charges because Gardner committed suicide, they're going to do their own investigation. And they're going to talk to each one of the juries. And I guess they can do that. As long as a case is technically over. Hey, Miss Sislo, how you doing, hon? As long as a case is technically over, then the jury, they can go on the news, they can go on a press conference, they can write a book, they can, go on a TV show, they can do whatever they want once the case is done and over with, right? Okay, I want to read another comment somebody said. They said, call it what you want or use any fancy term. Don Klein failed to do his job in a murder case, even after all the evidence came from Jake himself. Prior to hearing this the other day, they felt Klein failed to do his job as the top prosecutor. Resignation would be at a minimum. That's how they feel. They also feel that there may be some charges for this type of negligence. They went on to say the city needs someone that will uphold their sworn oath, someone that will not look the other way and prosecute within the laws of the city. Had Klein filed charges in the beginning, within the first 36 hours, Jake himself would have been in jail and had the opportunity to come up with a defense. To let the man go free for 100 plus days, then charges get filed. They say, yeah, they're sure he was distraught, not knowing what we know today. How can anyone believe that Klein should remain in office? And there are a lot of people who don't think he should remain in office, including myself. They said Don Klein's ineptitude has resulted in one family not receiving justice and another family grieving the loss of a loved one. Again, there are a lot of emotions on both sides of the coin, with the Scurlocks and with the Gardners. They said this has to be more than an angry Facebook post or a hashtag. They said Don Klein must resign. What's up, Tazing? How you doing? Hello. Thank you, my 2 members, for commenting in the chat. They are both members of the Hood Nation. And if you would like to become a member of the Hood Nation, all you have to do is click the join button, which is right next to the subscribe button. And by the way, those of you who are part of the Hood Nation membership squad, next week I am going to be doing another Ask Tanya, but it's only for members. The members will only be the one to receive the link to join the live, and you are free to ask me questions. And I will do my best to be transparent, like I always try to be. Now, I want to read one more comment that I saw regarding this case. Somebody said, Klein, he allowed his bias and prejudices to cloud his judgment of the facts. The question now remains, how many other cases could there possibly be? They said his arrogance and ego also clouded his judgment. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what is called assumed privilege and entitlement. They went on to say the fact that the special prosecutor and a grand jury viewed the same evidence he did and determined that Jake Gardner's actions were inappropriate, and Don Klein is still trying to paint James as a villain versus a victim, shows nothing but prejudice and bigotry. They said they won't use the word racism, but they all come from the same spirit. They went on to say deadly force was not needed. He could have walked away. The law clearly states it's not considered self-defense if you yourself engage in behavior which can cause agitation to a situation. He prepared for 3 days waiting for a confrontation, as we saw on his Facebook post. He and his father provoked one and someone was murdered. And we did see his father start the confrontation. He did push somebody several times, really hard, violently, where they fell in the street. And then he got hit, and that started the rest off, which led to James being murdered. The truly sad part, they said, is he probably believes, as far as Klein, that within himself he's right and refuses to look at things from another perspective, not only as a human being, but as the county attorney. And because of that, he must resign and all cases need to be reviewed under his watch. And I totally 1000% agree with that comment. The fact that when I saw what Don Klein said, as far as he still stands firm on his decision that it was self-defense. And he said, well, you have to look at James' background. Look, I'm like, okay, what about his background made him deserve to die? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. What about his background made him deserve to die? Several people jumped on Jake's back, and I still firmly believe that it was in an attempt to try to get the gun from him because he was brandishing a gun. In a situation where I don't think a gun should have even been involved. And that's why some people don't need a gun. A lot of people out here running because of everything that's going on in the society, everything going on in the community. A lot of people going out here getting these guns without even thinking because they're like, oh, I want to be prepared. I want to be ready. I want to be, with the Rona and people running out of supplies, and they think this is the end days and scared of people breaking into their house or, scared of these Trump racist Trump supporters who's the MAG and the people who's coming to these protests who aren't even from our communities, and they're tearing up and destroying property, doing more damage than the protesters themselves. People are out here buying these guns, and some people don't need guns because their mental state might not be ready for a gun. And that's regardless of your color, regardless if you're racist, regardless if you're not racist. Sometimes having a gun, you make mistakes and you feel like it's necessary when in fact it could have stayed at home, in your car, in your glove box. This is a sad situation for our community because I still believe that it was not self-defense. I don't care what people say. That's my opinion. Other people can believe what they want to believe. Hey, notice me. Hey, boo, how you doing? There's some people who are just crazy, who don't need a gun. Um, and I mean, it just is what it is. I hear people all the time say, "Man, if I had a gun, I know I would have killed them, and I'd be in jail right now, and my kids would be without a parent." So I didn't heard people say that before. I know if I had a gun, I would have road rage, just all kind of stuff. I would have shot their car up, just stupid stuff. Um, so and this theory that they're going with, as far as the defense, saying that Jake, because of him serving in the war, 2 tours or whatever they said, and him having PTSD and woo woo woo, how he felt like he was in a war zone the night of the protest. That's a bunch of bullshit. Again, I say, who the hell who has PTSD? Because if you have PTSD, if you really got PTSD, then you've been to see a psychiatrist, you've been to a hospital, I mean, there are questions that they ask you on those gun permits. First of all, who gives somebody a gun who suffers from PTSD? Second of all, if things like that trigger you, why would you be posting on your Facebook page days in advance how you're going to stand military style, ready for somebody to come through your store or your bar? You ready? You posted that on your Facebook a few days before James died. We are never going to get over that. And regardless of what happened to all them posts on his Facebook page, if he deleted the post or he just made it private, so many people screenshotted so many racial motivated posts from Jake Gardner. Even after he's long gone, a lot of those posts will still be brought up, especially that one where he said he was going to stand military style for 48 hours, stand guard downtown, waiting, anticipating for something to pop off. People who suffer from PTSD will stay away from stuff like that. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. Hey, Miss Naturally Noise, how you doing? But yeah, so you said they always kill me when they claim mental illness. Yeah, that's what they claim, mental illness. That's what they claim. And what some people call mental illness, some people call racism and bigotry. That's what some people call it. So anyway, again, there are 2 separate families here, both being impacted, but not only the families, but the community. Some for Jake, some for James. You can believe what you gotta believe, but I mean, with all the evidence, with all the charges that the grand jury indicted Jake Gardner on, I just don't see how Don Klein, within those few days, decided that he was innocent. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad Justin Wayne. I'm so glad the Scurlock family. I'm so glad that our community put the pressure on them. We held our foot on the gas and then pumped the brakes. We needed a grand jury investigation. Now, I must admit, I was one of those who thought, oh, this grand jury, they gonna come back, because you can't get your hopes up too high in these type of situations, whether it's a racist who kills somebody or whether cops then kill somebody unjustly. And you can't get your hopes too high because you don't want to be so devastated if you don't get the outcome that you want. So I like some people's like, oh, this jury, they gonna come back, oh, they gonna let him on, that's what I was thinking. But then when it happened, I was like, oh shoot, what kind of evidence did they have compared to what Klein have? And that's what the family wants to know. That's what James attorney Justin Wayne, Senator Justin Wayne, that's what he wants to know. And that's why people are signing this petition. They're signing this petition, and I'll drop the link in the chat again because the link probably is further up in the chat. So I'll drop the link again. If y'all want to sign a petition, sign the petition. There's the link. You said, the racists are totally mentally ill. Something going on. Gotta be wrong with you when you go ballistic just by hearing the word black. Man. You said, I'm glad somebody didn't come out the family or community to say, oh, we forgive them as usual. I'm just, it's just a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation. And somebody said that Jake most likely probably could have been found innocent after a lengthy trial. We don't know now. We don't know if he would have found guilty, if he would have found innocent. But what we do know is that he committed suicide. He didn't give the family the opportunity, the Scurlocks, the opportunity to go through a trial, see the evidence, to see all the evidence that was accumulated. They didn't get that chance. They didn't get that right. So they're closing the case, they're dropping the charges, and they're sealing the grand jury evidence. But anyway, let me pull this petition up again so y'all can see it. Here's the petition. The link I dropped in the chat is for the petition. If you want to sign a petition demanding evidence against Jake Gardner be released immediately to the public, feel free to sign. If you are moved to sign the petition, feel free to sign. And again, Jake Gardner was indicted after a grand jury investigation. They found him guilty of 4 charges. He was indicted. They found him guilty. Hold on. Manslaughter. All right here. Can y'all see my mouse? Right here in the middle. He took his own life after he was indicted by a grand jury of his peers on 4 felony charges: manslaughter, use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony, attempted first-degree assault, and terroristic threats. That was after Douglas County Attorney Don Klein made a rush decision to not press charges after he killed that black boy, the 22-year-old James Scurlock. They rushed to a decision and found him acting in self-defense. He left town, said he was scared that people's going to kill him or harm him, so he left town. But then the grand jury got together and they said, bring him back. Bring him back. He said he would be back Sunday evening. He told his lawyers he was coming back Sunday evening, but instead, our authorities get a call from the Oregon authorities saying he killed himself. Again, some people don't believe it. Some people don't believe that he's dead. Some people believe that he had help to escape, that he's somewhere in hiding, still alive somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? But if more updates come about especially as far as the family, because they're and Justin Wayne, their attorney, because they are now saying they are going to do their own investigation and they will speak to all the jurors and they will get their own evidence, and maybe it'll be a civil trial or a civil lawsuit. So, but again, like they said on the news, who would the lawsuit be towards? I don't know. If Jake had an estate, I don't know. They claim he lost his barn, and after that, his livelihood. So I don't know. But if I hear anything else, you guys know I'll let you know. I'll let you know. You said tasing some bull. You said they had put his corpse in an electric chair. They had to put his corpse in an electric chair. Oh, Lord. You said put his corpse in an electric chair. Ooh, child. You said show us his body now and unseal that ish now. And that's what a lot of people are demanding. That's why they got that petition going on. And again, I dropped the link in the chat several times. So if you want to sign a petition for them to release the evidence that the grand jury found, since they're sealing the documents and dropping the charges since Jake committed suicide, sign the petition. Sign the petition. You said this is going to be one of those games they do now, kill a black person and pay off the family. You know, I'm just like, no amount of money, no amount of time really can atone for somebody for what somebody did, like kill somebody you love. It's, if it was my child, $1 million, $2 million, $8 million, it can't bring nobody back. Of course, you'll be like set for life. You can donate money to your favorite charities. You can maybe start some scholarships in your child's name. You know, things like that. Scholarship funds and, you know, laws and things like that. But no amount of money can bring anybody back. And it never, deep down inside, it'll never satisfy you, because you can't buy life. Life is invaluable. So anyway, that's all I have to say on this latest update, the latest news regarding the death of James Scurlock by Jake Gardner, who was indicted again on 4 charges, but didn't want to come back to face trial, so he committed suicide. So that's all I have to say on this. Again, you guys, make sure you like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Also, follow us on Facebook, IG, Twitter, and of course thehoodtable.com, where again you can purchase your The Hood Table merchandise. Ladies, if you like to wear leggings, if you have some nice, beautiful, shapely legs, you want to wear some leggings, we got leggings, throw pillows, coffee cups, face masks, all kind of stuff, hoodies, t-shirts, all ladies shirts, men's shirts, all kind of stuff on thehoodtable.com. You just got to go over there and click on the link for the store. It says store. But thank you. You're welcome. Notice me. Thanks for always supporting the Hood Table. I appreciate it. And Taze Inc. you as well. She's a member of the Hood Table squad. And Miss Natural New Orleans. And who else came in here? Well, I know there's people watching, but the people who actually comment in the chat, who like to comment in the chat and keep me company, Miss Sislo, the beautiful Miss Sislo. Y'all check out Miss Sislo newsworthy updates. She is a really great YouTube commentator, and she also does shows on trending news, current events. Nature Boy, if y'all know all about Nature Boy or heard about Nature Boy, the real life cult leader, like in real life, he has a real cult. Nature Boy, she keeps you updated on all his everything that's going on with his. That Nature Boy is something else. He's something else. Whew. I can't keep up with it. I really can't keep up with it. But love you too, Miss Sislo. I love you. Hey, Carmel Diva. How you doing, boo? That is our co-host, Carmel Diva. That is our co-host. She'll probably join us tomorrow on Friday Night Live. Y'all know tomorrow is Friday, so Friday Night Live, you already know what time it is. Come with your topics. Come with your topics, because I'm not going to be the only one on the screen on Friday nights. You can be on the screen. I'm like Oprah. You and you and you and you. We can have up to 10 people on the screen, and we can discuss any and everything. It's no topics off limit. Friday Night Live, no holds bar. We talk about any and everything on Friday nights. It's at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, with that being said, I always come with a few topics, just in case y'all ain't got none. But I always come with a few topics on Friday Night Live. Carmel Diva, she, she helps me on some topics, or she brings some topics of her own on to the table, to the hood table. But Friday Night Live, there you go, 402. I've been looking for you. How you doing? Matter of fact, make sure you're here for Friday Night Live tomorrow night, 402, because I want you on the screen. I want you right next to me, like right here on the screen, right next to my curls. I want you on the screen tomorrow night, 402, 9 o'clock p.m., so we can discuss some stuff. So we can discuss some stuff. Shoot, 402 Revenue, he be having some good conversation. That's a good company. That's my homie. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna finish drinking my little wine. Now y'all know y'all rarely see me drinking out of a wine glass. I normally got my little solo cup. But today I feel like drinking wine, and I'm trying, and no, I'm not promoting. I'm not promoting nothing. Ain't nobody paying me to promote nothing. But this Stella Rose Blueberry. Stella Rose Blueberry. I grabbed some of that. We went to actually, me and one of my friends, we went to the liquor outlet. For some of y'all who don't know where that is, it's at the old Toys R Us by Oakview Mall. You said don't turn into Tasha K. I would never. Now she do got a lot of subscribers though. Now if we talking about that part, I wouldn't mind having her subscriber count. But as far as turn into Tasha K, I would never. But no, I used to watch her. I really did. I used to like her, but as time went on, I don't know what I can't stand the most, but one of the things is her screaming at the top of her lungs throughout the whole show. I cannot stand, and there's certain people that I stopped listening to who got bells and whistles and bones and police sirens, and they so loud. I mean, it's like you be watching them, like, what the police? What, like, all them bones and dongs and all that? No, I can't stand all that noise. Oh, you talking about the drunken stupor? Oh no, never. If I ain't became a drunk by now, I ain't gonna become a drunk. Don't be laughing at me, Miss Nasty Nolan. Matter of fact, you need to bring your tail on here tomorrow night and let us know some New Orleans tea. Give us that New Orleans tea, because I know y'all be having things going down there in New Orleans, okay? AKA New Orleans. So yes, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock p.m. Be here, be square. Yeah, I said it. Be here or be square. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime and in between time, as usual, stay safe, be blessed, and I am out. Deuces.